Hello, 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 everybody. What up? Up. Let's do this. What up, Frick? How you doing today? It's time. It's time for Feedback Friday. Let's just jump right into it. I think. You already know how this works. There's feedback. We give feedback. It's pretty straightforward. Let's go. All good to go. Let's go. Okay. Where we at here? Feedback time. Right. Feedback Friday. If you don't know how this works, basically you submit your work to the Discord channel. Boom. Right here. What up, Pudnik? How are you doing today? Submit your work to the Discord channel, which is right here. And then we go through it. We go through it. We have a look at the work and we see what it is. What up, Featherwalk? How you doing? How's it going? You doing fine, Pudnik? Good to hear. Good to hear. If you can't see the other chat, by the way, we've got two chats going on. One on YouTube, one on Twitch. Because I'm dual streaming. Which I don't know if that's very good. I don't know if that's very good for the stream to split the audience like that. But hey, it is what it is. That's what we're doing. So first up, let's go to see where we're at. Where we're up to. I think we are up to... I'm right. Could be wrong. I think I've seen this. Seen. Maybe this. Queen's room in the B game I'm working on. Maybe that's where we're up to. How many we got? We got, whoa, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 to get through. It never ends. It never ends. Let's just jump on here. I think that's right. If anyone can remember last Feedback Friday, I can't remember where we were up to. I think it's somewhere around here. I think it's this one. Yeah, it must be. Okay. The Queen's room in the B game I'm working on. Even though it's placeholder on, I'm pretty happy with it. Player is inside the hive building rooms. Ordered pizza and ready for Friday night feedback with our favorite bald man. What up, Pixel Toast? How are you doing today? Don't forget you already did my game. Okay, Featherwalk, no worries. Doing okay? You just downloaded Persona 3 Reload. Let's go. Cairo Zen, what's going on? How you doing? Even though it's placeholder, I'm pretty happy with it. Players inside the hive building rooms that does different things for the hive, like making honey. What do you think? I mean, looks cool. What have people said? The Bee Queen will sleep well in this one. Seems a bit dark. Maybe change for a brighter color or contrast. Yeah, maybe you're right. I was told the floor was too bright, but maybe you could also use the brighter side. Let's just have a look. Let's just open it up, shall we? Let's open it up in the art software. Let's take a little analysis. And we'll have a look. I mean, it really depends. Too dark, too light. Like, it's such a contextual thing, right? Like, whether it's too dark or too light, it's going to be... It really depends on what you're going for. It really depends on other things. Like, if the character can't be seen, then maybe it is too dark or too light. But for the most part, those types of things depend on what you're going for. Which is why it's a difficult thing to answer. I mean, I should probably just save this image real quick. By the way, folks, a little reminder for those of you who are here for feedback. Do not ever download somebody's video game. Recently, there's been a big spike of people getting hacked Discord accounts, losing all of access to their accounts because people are downloading games. You might get a message from saying, hey, I'm working on this game. Do you mind play testing it? Here's a link. Don't click the links. Don't download the games unless you can verify for sure that they are sending you something legit. Recently, a couple of big creators have been hit by that. It's one of the reasons we don't do downloadable games on Feedback Friday. So just keep that in mind. Yeah. I mean, it looks fine. Style-wise, you've got a clear style that you're going for, big chunky black lines. I don't know really what feedback I can give to this without seeing the rest of the assets or anything like that. It looks maybe quite flat. Like it is hard to tell the forms. So you are, there's nothing wrong with that though, you know. There's nothing wrong with that. It just looks a little flat. So the bed looks really flat. Shadows or something could help with that. I mean, kind of difficult to tell where any light source is coming from. I imagine top down, but even just like a sideways light of some sort, even on both sides of the bed, what might help here? Like just boom, just chuck a shadow in. Boom, multiply that. Even that might help give it a bit of form, you know. Flatness could be a style choice. Exactly, Pudnik. And that's what I'm trying to get across here. But the flatness could well be a style choice as well. So it really depends on what you're going for. I think whenever you're asking for feedback, you should be as clear as possible as to what it is, what you're trying to achieve. You know, what are you trying to achieve? Is this a style that you're going for? I think it looks fine, to be honest, and I especially think it will look fine with a character. There's nothing wrong with this style at all, you know. Nothing wrong with this style at all. If you wanted it to make it look more 3D, then you could by adding shadows, just as Featherwalk said. That would help the form. But otherwise, it really depends on what you're going for. And since you haven't really said what you're going for, we can't really give much more feedback than that. So, time to move on. Spoken about on stream. Next up, wherever we are. Where the hell are we? I think we're around here. What up, T-Bo? How are you doing today? T-Bo is in the building. So we should be. It always drags me right down the bottom. So we've seen this one. Next up, we've got Cloud Tile Set. Bonjour, what's going on? How are you doing? I'm not sure if I should continue in this style or not for these clouds. Okay. So, again, contextual. There's a lot of this today. I think there's going to be a lot of this. Should I continue with the style of these clouds? That really depends. The question that you're asking is super general. Like, what does the rest of the world look like? You know, does it fit with the rest of your world? I think it looks cool. I think it's an interesting cloud design. I haven't seen very many clouds like this, especially like the spiky nature of them. Clouds to me are a bit softer than that, but I guess it depends, doesn't it? It depends on the style that you're going for. And I think maybe we need to talk about perhaps a theme of today so far is, are you asking the right questions? Are you shooting yourself in the foot too early? You know, when you're looking at game assets in particular, right? So let's talk about this. Video game assets, they don't exist in a vacuum. Hold on. Video game assets don't exist in a vacuum, yeah? You can't really, like, yeah, you can look at an individual character and go, oh, it's a character. Does my character look good? And you can go, yeah, the character looks good. But when it comes to video games, or especially things like, oh, look, here's my clouds. What do you think of my clouds? You can give individual feedback to the style of one cloud. But in terms of like tile sets and backgrounds and all of that stuff, I would recommend establishing some sort of art direction. You know, some sort of art direction. Why should you do this? Okay, I think it's important to establish an art direction because you'll know exactly the things that you need, the elements of art that you need to create cohesive designs. You know, cohesive designs. You maybe should do a video on art direction. I mean, I think everything that I talk about, especially with game art, is explained in my How to Make Game Art video, which talks about how you break down game art based on the art elements. So line, shadow, outlines, certain styles, shapes, colors, value, contrast, hierarchy of information, like all of that stuff is outlined in the How to Make a Game Art video. So if you're making a game, check out that video because that's going to give you some tips, and you don't have to follow that, but it's a good rule of thumb for like, oh, will this match with this? Is this a good style? You know, like all of those things you can figure out, but you kind of don't want to do that isolated with a game. Like if you just hyper focus on the character, for example, and then next day hyper focus on the cloud, and then next day hyper focus on an environment, you're going to come to put these things together with, you know, the bed environment and the player in there, and I don't know, there's a cloud in there for whatever reason, and you're going to go, these look completely different. These look completely different, and I don't know why. And it's because you need to establish some sort of design rules. So when I was working in animation, there is an art director that's their entire job. And when you're a solo dev, that's your job as well. You're not just the artist You are the director. You know, it's your job to make sure everything looks cohesive, everything fits within a style. And one really easy way to do that is just to give yourself some rules. Give yourself some rules. And I mean rules, that things that you don't break. Like, I'm going to use only these 3 colors, for example. I'm only going to use these types of shapes. Like, I'm only going to use soft shapes, you know, like circles and rounded edges, you know, or I'm only going to use outlines, and the outlines are going to be black, you know. And if you do that, your work is going to start to look more cohesive because everything is sharing the same rules. Let's look at any video game right now. Someone pick a video game for me. 2D one. 2D, maybe pixel art. Pixel art probably is easiest. 2D pixel art game. Pick one. Pick one, pick one, pick one, pick one. First one gets it. Pizza Tower. Perfect. I knew someone would say Pizza Tower. Okay, Pizza Tower. Phase plan. No, I'm not revealing all of phase plan secrets. Let's take a look at phase plan. Let's take a look at Pizza Tower, for example. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, this is Pizza Tower. Okay, look at all of the assets in this game. It's cohesive. It might not be the style that you like. It might not be the style that you go for or whatever, but it's cohesive. Why is it cohesive? Okay, let's take a look. Irregular shapes. Okay, 1. This is how you break down the style. 1, let's just use white. 1, irregular shapes. It doesn't matter. They're even janky, you know, irregular / janky shapes. Clean shapes doesn't really matter here. Janky shapes. Very 90s cartoon. It is. But what are the elements that make that up, you know? What are the elements that make up that 90s cartoon style? They've got irregular, janky shapes. They're also very simple, you know? Nothing is overcomplicated. Nothing's overcomplicated. The shapes are very simple. Even though they're janky, they are all, you know, super simple. 3, what else we got? We have black outlines on everything. Everything follows the same thing. Black outlines. Black outline, literally everything. Everything has black outlines apart from elements which you don't touch, like background elements, like these little decorative skulls, for example. What up, Dom? Few colors, yeah. Colors are very selective. They're not... Each element of this, like characters, they only have 2 or 3 colors, maybe 4, you know? I'll say 3 or 4 colors per element, you know? So this is how you start to break down the style or the direction, the art direction of a game. Yeah? And you just have to do, literally, if you're trying to create a style for your game, you just have to not reverse psychology, but like, you just have to do the opposite of that. Rather than breaking it down, set it up, you know? Set it up yourself. Pick a style to go with, and then you'll go, okay, I like the style of this. And you can do iterations. Yeah, reverse engineering. That's what I was thinking of. Thanks, Frank. Thanks, Frank. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. You just have to decide, right, my character is going to have no outlines, and try them out. Make one character. Yeah, make one character and then try 3 different styles and see which one you like the best. You know, like, oh, this character's got an outline. I like this. That's nice. And I'm going to do the character again, but this time it doesn't have an outline. Do I like that better? I don't know. Not sure. Or it has like broken outlines, or it has like highlights, or it has different colors. Maybe it's got a bit of shading in the head or something. Maybe it's got a yellow head. Maybe it's an egg. That's how you establish a style. For anyone who's making a game, check out my how to make game art video. That's got literally everything that you need to do that, and to break down. If you can break down a game's style from just looking at each of the individual elements of art, you'll be able to make your own art style by focusing on the individual elements of art. Not that difficult, actually, but it is difficult at the same time. Okay, very nice. But your clouds are decent, but they're isolated. Your clouds are decent. It's an interesting style, but they're an isolated asset. That's all I can really say. Is it's an interesting style. I would like to see it in the rest of the world, you know. That's all I can really say there. So, spoken about on stream. Spoken about on stream. Okay. But if you want them to look more cloud-like, I mean, clouds can be spiky and soft. I just associate them. One thing that makes it cartoony is exaggerated. Yeah, exaggerated poses, exaggerated expressions. Definitely. Definitely. Okay, next up. My clown for today's challenge. Let's have a look. So what do you think of my clown for today's challenge? Very happy because I used the challenges palette, which was very hard to handle for me. Beside that, I tried to apply my understanding of lighting and shading. Pretty sure he's mean because he's lost his beautiful blue hair. You wouldn't be mean if you went bald. You would be more happy. Okay. So there's your first bit of feedback. Okay, clown. Maybe I shouldn't do this on such a dark background. Flashbang, folks. Here we go. Flashbang. Okay. So here's the clown. I think this is awesome. One thing that I love about this is the solid silhouette. So whenever you are making a character, silhouette is super important. And look how clear that is. Apart from maybe the hand, which is hiding something behind, but that's part of the design, right? Part of the design is they're hiding something. They're being a little bit sneaky there. I don't know what's going on, actually. They might be holding like a knife or something. But that silhouette is cool. When you can see the individual elements clearly defined from around each other, that's a good silhouette. So solid silhouette, solid shading. The colors are obviously a bit weird, but you have went with the palette. You've stuck to a palette, which is good. Difficult thing to do. Shapes are really cool. The design is really nice. I like the way you've... The one thing that doesn't really make too much sense is the lighting on the shoe here. Like, notice how you have lit this entire left side up, okay? You've lit the entire left side up here. And bing, bing, bing. Lit that entire left side up here. And that is lit, right? But then you have the shoe, which the top of the shoe... To me, if I'm looking at the shape of this shoe, the shape of this shoe kind of makes me feel like it's like this, right? Something like this. It's hard to do. Same here with this shoe. Like that. Posted a video in game dev. Hope you can check it out this stream. I'll check it out in just a second. You redeemed a request feedback. We don't do those, by the way, for those of you, we don't do request feedbacks on Feedback Friday. Those are only for when you don't do. Those are only for non-Feedback Friday streams. But I will check it out. You didn't know that, so I'll check it out. Okay. I can just imagine him walking with that old school floppy cartoon swing. The silhouette has a lot of character. It does. It's really nice. It's really, really nice. The only thing that's a little off for me is that light in the shoe, which makes it seem a little bit, which makes the form seem a little bit off. And that's it. Like, I'd probably just, if you wanted that to be lit, maybe just move it there. You know? So it's on the left side. And if you're going to have that left, then you're going to have to think about where that foot is. You could just put the whole thing in shadow, probably. Probably just put the whole thing in shadow, and that already looks less form broken, as if the foot's behind. It's just this little bit of light which is breaking that a little bit. And same thing here with the hand. Like, you don't have to. Don't be scared. This is a rule. Don't be scared about putting things in shadow. Don't be scared about putting things in shadow. It helps your depth, you know. Whereas putting little highlights on things is an easy way to break that depth. Like, if I just put all of this in shadow, yeah, the hand can still be in shadow. The hand shape is a little odd, I will say. Maybe I'd put one more pixel there or something. Just looks a little sharp without too much idea of like knuckles. Maybe you could have like a couple more pixels. I know I can't do this because I'm not the right pixel size to edit it, but maybe a couple pixels to highlight knuckles or something like that would help, because it just looks like a yellow blob as well. What a master player. But don't be scared to put things in shadow. Yeah. But other than that, it's a really cool design. I think you've done a really good job. Really, really good job. Very nice. Very nice. Move on. Very nice. Spoken about on stream. Gotta check out Frick's game dev video, unless it's super long. Okay, 10-second clip. Here we go. That's not bad. So this semester, our school gave us an assignment to remake a 10-second clip from a professional game. We worked in groups of devs and game artists. I didn't really care what game I got, so I decided to go with Genshin Impact. It was really fun to work on, but unfortunately due to the shortage of artists and time, we couldn't get a very good product. Still learned a lot and enjoyed it. The animation of the characters is a bit messed up due to some weird export bugs. No feedback, just wanted to share. Okay. This looks cool. This looks solid, yeah. Yeah, the animation's definitely jank. Animation's definitely a little bit jank. Doesn't have the bounciness. Congrats on 130. Thank you so much. I haven't made a video in a while, but hopefully soon. I've been working on that goblin one that I've almost finished off, so that should be out next week. Hopefully. We'll see. That's my plan anyway. I'm going to work all weekend on it. Doesn't have that much work to do, just some cleaning up. Looks solid. Yeah, the animations are a bit stiff, but I mean, you didn't have a lot of time, right? You didn't have a lot of hours, so other than that, it looks really cool. Looks really, really cool, Frick. Nice work. Type in the chat. Bing. 10-second clip from a professional game. That's really cool. Really solid. Nice work. It's really hard working in teams as well for those types of things. Really, really hard. So I think you did a great job. You don't got to request feedback for that, by the way. You can just ask. But I appreciate you. Okay. Where are we at? NES Castlevania inspired game. Check this out. So I'm developing with two other people a Castlevania inspired game, especially Belmont's Revenge and Castlevania Simon's Quest. Still very beginning working, but I want some feedback so I can improve. Let's have a look. Yeah, let me move my bald head. You folks can't really see the floor. Looks pretty cool. The animation's obviously very basic so far, like the character doesn't swing their arm. I don't know if they do in Castlevania. I haven't actually played Castlevania, so I couldn't tell you. The rain's kind of nice, kind of a nice rain effect. Maybe it going in front of the character sometimes would be good. I don't know. Again, I don't know much about Castlevania, so I can't give much feedback there. There's a little update here. Yeah, the rain, maybe it's a bit too much. I think there's 2 frames in Castlevania for the whip got you. Yeah, I don't know a huge amount about Castlevania, like I said. I can't give specific Castlevania experience. Character and enemy sprites could use more detail and have brighter colors. I think they're okay. I think they definitely stand out against the backgrounds as being enemies, but that's just because they're like solid colors, you know what I mean? Like the enemies solid green, perhaps something to help that stand out. Maybe some more contrast or something would be nice. The UI is nice. The UI definitely reminds me of those sorts of games. It's just the rain. I think the rain pattern, maybe, I mean, it depends how heavy you want the rain to be, right? Depends how heavy you want the rain. But I think I kind of agree with this. The eyes, the pain, the rain is kind of a pain in the eyes. Curious about the unholy bow. Yeah, I wonder what that does. Let me have a look at Castlevania, actually. So, you said Belmont, whatever. Belmont something. Belmont's Revenge. Is that what it is? Okay. Okay, that's black and white, so I'm not going to look at that. What's the other one? Oh, this one. What's the other one called? Castlevania Simon's Quest. Okay. Dude, I mean, Simon's Quest looks amazing, doesn't it? How dope this game looks. Again, this is the type of thing that we were talking about earlier with establishing a style. I think you can't really see this. It's kind of low. Sorry for the flashbang. Kind of low res, obviously. Low res to share off. I really like how in this game they use a lot of shadow, actually. Like the characters are very simple and they have clear colors that outline them, but look how cool the use of shadow is here. This is what I was literally just talking about. Don't be scared to leave things in shadow because it makes things super interesting. Because your eyes, you don't need to see everything. Your brain fills in the rest of the details. You know what I mean? Kind of like pixel art's very good for that anyway. Pixel art is very, very good for that anyway, but shadow helps so much. Because you haven't got a lot of detail with pixel art, but I mean, look at that. It is kind of messy, a little bit noisy as well. Like the trees are very noisy, but it still works, and the character still stands out, I guess, because of the high contrast between the black and the white and their individual color. I mean, the color is kind of seen at the bottom here, but you're not really looking at the bottom, are you? You're looking at that white and black, and it is moving as well. You've got to take the motion into account, and obviously the skeletons are blue with white, so they kind of stand out as well. I think that it's mostly that value contrast that makes them stand out quite a lot. You know, that white and black, as you can see there. A lot of value contrast with the white and the black. So that's something you should think about. A noisy background, I guess, is fine as well, because that's kind of the style. But maybe a little bit more in the background rather than just being plain. You know, there isn't a huge indication as to where this character is. Whereas in Castlevania, it seems like you have an idea of the environment, you know? I mean, I can kind of see the dirt and the fences, but like I'm not sure what's going on here, you know? Not sure what's going on here unless it's like a transition stage or something. But other than that, very cool. Very cool. Keep it up. Spoken about on stream. Okay, next up, here we go. Angry Kaiju Rainbow. Okay. This is random art. Hi there. Animation Jam entry, not a game. Intro cutscene and title screen made for GB Studio Jam Skill Special 2. Okay, so this isn't a game. This is an animation. Some sort. Let's have a look. Boom, boom, boom. Browser. Here we go. Okay, run animation. Let's have a look. All was peaceful in the dwarf village. Then it came. Oh my god, it's Lumber Story. Angry Kaiju Rainbow. Very nice. I am intrigued. I'm intrigued as to what this Angry Kaiju Rainbow is going to do. All was peaceful in the dwarf village. Then it came. The Angry Kaiju Rainbow. I think that's cool. I think that's nice. I like the transitions. It reminds me a lot of the Game Boy games. And obviously you made this in GB Studio. So that's probably why. But it's enough. It's enough to get me intrigued. It's enough to get me intrigued. And that's what it's all about. I don't really have much feedback, to be honest with you. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. Watched on stream. Okay, next up. Parkour game made in a week. So this is something I've been working on for the past 7 days. It's a really short experience, can be beaten in less than 2 minutes, and it was made for speedrunning. I'd appreciate feedback regarding the gameplay or rather anything. PS, the web version is quite buggy. We only play web versions here. We do not download games. What up, fourth page? Don't download games. That's dangerous. Okay. Boom. Made in Unity. Automatically gets the -5 points. With rain, what I've noticed is at low opacity so it doesn't destroy your eyes. Yeah. Very short game about you and what you can do. Okay. Check it out. Full screen. Does it have music? Download games sounds like a way to get a virus. It does indeed. You know that all too well. World has fallen to totalitarianism. Okay, there is some music here, so let's get that up. Free will is a concept. You are not from that world. Precept. Press space to begin. Here we go. Nice style so far. The style... What the heck was that? Space to jump. The style of the... does it have... No. It does have... No, sensitivity. Let's reduce that. Why is my full screen not working now? Yeah, I can't full screen now for whatever reason. That's fine. Jump off the wall. Feels kind of nice. The style of that intro... The style of the intro doesn't really match the style of the game. The game is very like metallic and blue. Whereas the intro is very like earthy and colorful. Left mouse button to grab. Okay. It's a puzzle game. Interesting. What does this say? Climb sideways. Okay. Fair enough. Very dark. Am I supposed to go down there? I don't know. I don't know what's happening. What happened? That death? I guess that's death. Yeah, I can't jump. What am I supposed to do here? Wish I could just full screen this bad boy. No full screen. Let's just restart. Let's restart. Try full screening it. There we go. Try this again. I might just have to put up with the... See, look how nice this looks. This looks so nice and light. And it makes me think I'm going to be in a nice light world. But then you're thrown into this world. Okay, it saved my progress, which is nice at least. Things are kicking off. I probably shouldn't go down there. Did it have coyote timing? It doesn't seem like it has coyote timing. No coyote timing. Fail. Heck. Okay, what's in this room? Let's take this thing. Take this. Let's take this thing. Yeah, this doesn't go very far. It's a puzzle game. And this is one thing we've heard about, like... One thing we've heard about... Like, if your game is made to be fast and puzzles, it's like doing two different things. You're doing two different things. Am I meant to be fast or am I meant to be puzzles? I don't know how to do this bit. Can I just drop it on there? No? Can I move off there? It shuts. I don't know. My brain don't work. I don't understand. Let's go back. Let's go back into death. Can I just make it back, do you think? Nope. Nope. Yeah. Can I go back up here? Maybe. Yeah, I can. Nice. Dead end, turned around. Okay, fair enough. I think you probably shouldn't let me get back there then, maybe. Okay, that goes on there, fair. Too slippery. Okay, I mean, fine. Know what that means. What is going on? Why is my screen orange all of a sudden? 0 of 2. Okay. That going there, something. What about the other one? Was there another one? Right. Yeah, the puzzle elements are weak, I would say. The puzzle elements are very weak. Is there another thing to do here? Oh, this thing. I grab this? I don't understand. Like, you want me to go fast, but then you're slowing me down. Obviously can't get into there, so I just touch it. Nope. Do I need one of these things? Can I have this? If I take you, will you shut the door? Yeah, it doesn't even matter if I take that now. I don't understand. I don't understand. Is this a thing that I'm supposed to know about? Maybe it's just me, but it's so bright, vibrant that it hurts my eyes. Yeah. Yeah, it hurts my eyes a little bit too. I don't get what I'm supposed to do here. And this is where I'd give up. Because there's like no indication of what I should do. Other than I know these panels open doors, obviously, but I can't get there fast enough. I don't know what the fuck this thing is. This is just a random, like... Just a random thing there. I don't know. Maybe I've got to go back or something. Maybe there's something I forgot. I don't know. Did I drop something? Did I drop anything down here? Or is it just sparks of death? I don't think I dropped anything. Was that the end, maybe? Is it... Oh, the effects. Hurt my eyes. What if I just pull these out now? That doesn't matter now because that's open. Come on, you. Yeah, I don't understand. I don't know what this is. Can it be finished? You made a first early version of an animation. Very nice, 4th page. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to do here. This is where I give up. This is where I give up. It's okay. It's interesting. Don't worry, Soul is just bad. I figured it out. I mean, yeah, maybe I am just bad, but it's not immediately obvious to me what I'm supposed to do here. Because I can only click and I can only run. You know? Tell me, Zai, what are you supposed to do here? You can tell me. Or maybe you're just good. Maybe you're just good. It's one of those things where you just have to get a bunch of people to play test it and see what it is. But I would have quit here. As a natural player experience, this is where I would have quit. You can put the power thing on the button. What power thing? This thing? I can take this all the way up. That's so dumb. That's actually so dumb. That's actually so dumb. I don't feel like that was my fault. I don't feel like that's my fault at all, really. It was pretty obvious there was a tutorial for that before. Yeah, but it was in the same room. Do you get what I mean? Like, you're in the same room as it. Because here's why it's bullshit. You ready? Here's why it's bullshit from a design perspective. And why I don't think that tutorial was good enough. Here's why it was bullshit. Because that tutorial that you're talking about, yeah, when you're in the same room, that's how puzzles work. No, look at this. This is where the switch is. Yeah? This is how the switch is. This is what the tutorial was. The switch is there, and the red thing's there with a cable. And this is what that taught me. Yeah? Yes, it taught me that I can put the buttons. And yes, it taught me that I can put this on the switch. Yeah? That's one thing it taught me. But it also taught me this, number 2. This cannot stretch that far. Because you can't drag it to the other side of a singular room. So I've learned 2 things there. 1, I can put it on a switch, yes. 2, I can't stretch these things that far because it can't get to the other side of a room. So now you're telling me that a good design is having a fucking thing that can go from one room, from one side, through the wire, goes through the fucking platform, on the top, to then sit on top of the plate? No, I don't think that's how puzzles work. I don't think that's how it works. That did not compute in my mind at all because of rule number 2, which was established in the tutorial of I can't stretch that thing that far. I don't think that's good game design. Like, you might have figured it out, but I don't think that's good game design. I think that's poor game design. It goes around the platform. On my screen, it looks like it goes through the damn platform. But you've already established that these things don't go very far in your previous tutorial. You know? You've already established this. In this part here, you've established that it does not go that far. It does not go to the other side of one room. So why then would it go to a completely separate room? It makes no sense. I don't think it's good design. Just because you figured it out doesn't make it good design. I think it's poor design. But anyway, I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to leave that there. It infuriated me, actually. Okay. Yeah, it's decent. Yeah, when making puzzles, be very open to feedback. Yeah. What up, Blizzard? Like, we just played your game, which was infuriating. We were just talking about one of the design sections, which I didn't understand. It's decent. I think your open and title screen was very different stylistically to the game. How is it supposed to be? Show the player, but don't just straight up tell them. So it's just about what you're establishing, right? Like in that room, we were talking about this puzzle. Okay, we're talking about this puzzle where there was a switch on the floor, yeah, and at one side there was the part where you put the thing into it, and then the thing where you put the thing where you drag it and pull it around. And it was established earlier on that you can take these things and you can plug them in to the other side, and that opens up things. That's fine. That's fine. That's an established rule, okay? You can now open doors by pulling this and putting it there. Boom, we've learned that. 2, what do we learn here? Well, what do you try and do as a player first? Or what did I try and do? What I try to do first as the player is I try to drag this thing to this, okay? What happens? It's not long enough. Try that a couple times. Okay, there's rule number 2. It doesn't stretch very far, okay? That's rule number 2. It doesn't stretch far. It doesn't stretch far, and we know that. Why? Because it doesn't stretch to the other side of the room. Okay, one singular room. So what do? Well, eventually you can figure out that you can just drop it on the platform like a weight. That's interesting. Cool. Okay, no problem. And then in the next one, you have this design, which kind of goes against your rule number 2. Which is, you have this room, if we're looking at it from a side view, and this is through a door, and then you have the button, which is somewhere over here. And this is like dangling down, but you've already connected this one to open that previous door. So that makes it even worse, in my opinion. Makes it even worse, because these look like separate rooms. Separate rooms with a puzzle already where you need 2 out of 2, yeah? 2 out of 2 in order to get through this door. 2 out of 2 to get through this door. So the door opens, you're through. Okay? You get to this section up the top here, which has a shutting door and a platform up the top. But this feels like a completely different section. Feels like a completely different section. Like you've already passed this. 2 out of 2. If any, and it says that as well. It reinforces the fact that you've passed this stage, right? Reinforces that in the design by having on the wall a big 2 out of 2. So it feels wrong to go back on yourself. It already feels wrong to go back on yourself. Secondly, you already established in the previous room that it doesn't stretch very far. So if you're thinking in your head, well, could I just take one of these things and put it on the platform? We think, well, I can't do that because it doesn't stretch very far. That's been established, you know, which is why I think it's poor design. Yes, you can figure it out. Yeah, you can do it if you're thinking outside the box. But in terms of design, I don't think it's very good. So how would you do that? I mean, but basically the puzzle that you're trying to set up here is you want the player to go back on themselves. You want the player to go back. Puzzle you're trying to set up is you want the player to go back on themselves and use a previous one to unlock the next area. So what I would do is I would remove this big 2 out of 2 thing once you've opened the door, and then don't have them going around a convoluted area like this. Don't have them, because if you make them go up a convoluted area, and it just feels even more like a separate style, especially when on my screen the thing doesn't go around it, it looks like it clips through it. It looks like it clips through it, and it's like this, it looks and feels janky. Looks and feels janky. So a better one to do would literally just to put a switch somewhere around here. You know, it's not as convoluted, but it's the same point. It's the same principle, right? And then this would teach the fact that, oh, you can go back on yourself. You know what I mean? In a more simple way. That's what I think. But yeah, it was decent. It was decent. Decent style. It felt, but also I just don't agree with the fast plus slow anyway. You know? The fast plus slow thing, it's like pick one, you know? That's how it kind of feels to me. Like, what game is that similar to? Like Portal, right? Portal is a puzzle game. Portal is a puzzle game first. And you can speed run it. You know? But having a speed run game first, or this, you have this game where movement, the initial part of the game is fast movement. Yeah? You're telling the player, or you're setting up for the player. I think the point is that you figure out the puzzles on the first playthrough. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what is established for the player. What is established for the player? It's established that you're fast moving, right? I'm talking about the game feeling like two different things. The first part of the game, before the puzzles, is you move very, very fast. You move very fast, okay? But what's the point in that when you now introduce a puzzles element which makes you go back on yourself and then go around here and then pick this up and then put that on there? Like, it's two separate things. There's a good talk about this, actually. There's a good talk about this by Game Maker's Toolkit. I think it was when he was first starting to make his Magnets puzzle game. And he talks about, I believe the topic is about like confusing players with different games, you know? It's like having a Twitch React platformer and you add puzzles into it. I had the same problem with Faceplant. I had the exact same problem with Faceplant because does it really fit? You know, does it really fit to add that in? And if you establish one thing and do something else, it doesn't feel right. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel right. And that just feels like it feels like it's two different games. You know? It feels like it's two different games. And usually it's better to just focus on one thing. But overall, it was pretty good. The style was interesting. It did hurt my eyes a little bit. And I was disappointed that it wasn't as light as the intro section, which was super nice. Like, this intro screen was really, really nice. And then you get into it and it's just like this blue metallic world of metal, you know. But other than that, the controls felt good. I was obviously playing the web version, so I wasn't playing like wasn't playing the download version. Like, it might have been better had I downloaded it, like, smoothness wise. So I'm not gonna comment on how smooth it was because I was playing the web version. But overall, very interesting. And I think 7 days to make that's insane. Like, 7 days to make that is really, really cool. So keep it up. Keep it up. Next up, my first top down. Let's have a look. Take these off. Still learning, so feedbacks are really appreciated. I mean, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. This is really nice. What up, USB enthusiast? What up, Sticky? A bunch of messages just came through here. Let me have a look. Door from up. I think the random thing, that might be the door from downstairs clipping through. Moxie with the Prime. Thank you so much. Hype in the chat, my friend. What's going on? If I put something on Discord for Feedback Friday, is there a chance to get it looked at today, or will it reset? Will it rest and cook? It will cook. It will cook, Nemphis, most likely. We've got like 23 or 22 things in the queue, so it probably won't get. Probably won't get there today. What up, Moxie? Thanks for the wonderful YouTube tutorials and guidance. Hey, no worries at all. Thanks for dropping the Prime and hanging out today. It's Feedback Friday. USB enthusiast says, do you do these streams every Friday? Yeah, Feedback Friday. That's what we do. What up, Sticky? How are you doing? How's it going today, Sticky? I think the point is that if you figure out the puzzles on the first playthrough and then you speedrun it. Yeah, but that's like, is it a puzzle game or is it the speedrun game? Is it a puzzle game that can be speedrun, or is it a speedrun game that can be puzzled? Like, I think of a game that is like that. Think of a game which is a speedrun game with puzzles. That's Seam. Have you ever played Seam? Seam is a fantastic example of when that works, right? Because Seam, if you've ever played it, it's a speedrun game with some puzzle elements. And it works very, very well because the puzzle elements work with the speed. Whereas the puzzle elements in this game that we've just played, they don't work with this speed. They stop you. And that's what I'm trying to get across here. Like, what do you want the player to do? Like, do you want them to go fast or do you want them to stop? That's what I'm trying to get across here. Like, be very clear what you want the player, how you want the player to play. Because when those puzzle elements come across, you stop dead in your tracks. Like, you stop dead in your tracks. See him, speedrunners from hell. I'll show you. Let me show you this. And that's why it's confusing. This guy going to plug the Discord every time? Yes. Every 15 minutes. It's supposed to do it. This is it. See him, right? Check out this. This is a speedrunning game with puzzle elements, where you have to use abilities and figure out the map, right? And there are things you have to unlock and go past. But notice how your movement the entire time is fast. You're moving fast the whole time. And that's what you're saying to the player. I want you to move fast. You know, it has fast movement, and I want you to move fast. Whereas if you go, it has fast movement, I want you to move fast, but I also want you to stop dead sometimes and figure this out. Like, it doesn't make sense, you know? This game looks super cool. It is very cool and it's very well made. And it's designed very well. I'd recommend anyone playing this if you're interested in those fast kind of games. But that's what it kind of reminded me of there. It's like it was trying to be Portal with its puzzly element, but it was also forcing this fast movement down your neck at the start, which didn't really match the puzzles. You know, like Portal doesn't force fast movement down your neck. There is fast movement in Portal, and there is fast movement sections in Portal, but Portal makes you stop and think a lot, and it establishes that from the very start. So that's what you have to be careful of, is what are you establishing for the players at the very start of the game? You know, what type of game are you establishing for them? Because if they go into it, like I go into that game expecting to be fast, and then I'm having to stop, like, why did I bother going fast? You know? And if you can't just say that it's because, oh, I want you to speedrun it afterwards. Because that's not how it works. You don't get to choose as the developer whether I speedrun your game or not. You don't get to choose that. You don't get to choose that the goal of the game is for you to speedrun it afterwards. I choose the goal of the game by playing it. And my experience suggested that, well, I don't really want to speedrun this because it doesn't make me want to go fast. It makes me want to stop and get the puzzle and plug it in, you know? That's what I'm trying to say here. But anyway, boom, boom, what's up? This is sick. I got no feedback. The only feedback for this that I give is the bike is too small. There's no way I'm fitting on that bike. There's no way these characters are fitting on the bike. No way. I guess the second thing that I'll talk about is because the characters when they go down, they kind of expand. They kind of expand and get fatter, but they don't squash down too much. They squash down like 1 pixel maybe, and it seems like they come out too, like they expand by 2. But other than that, like, style is fantastic. Style is fantastic. Very well done. Spoken about on stream. Overall, it's very, very cool. The lighting is nice. It's just a solid piece, you know. You can't really fault it other than the bike is too small. And then there's no way I'm sitting on that bike. But that's a standard thing with like top-down games, right? Like Pokemon has the same thing. Seam's Steam tagline is amazing. What was it? I missed it. Like a bastard child of Quake 3 and Super Meat Boy, Seam Speedrunners from Hell is truly hardcore and focused on speed and fast reaction. Yeah. Like, the two things don't work together. Like, speed and puzzle, they don't work together unless you're doing that on purpose. You know what I mean? Like, unless you establish one thing very, very well first. Maybe he could add very slippery physics and make an absolutely awful rage game. Yeah. How to improve the art of the capsule of my upcoming game. Let's check this out. Okay. So, not to promote too much, I'm putting your game on Steam. It's important I make a good first impression. What are some good key things I could do to improve this image? When viewed in the test score, it kind of looks a bit small and simple-ish. I don't think it's too bad. I just don't think. Okay, so here's the thing. Before I look at this, let's take a look at this. Okay. So this here, for those of you that don't know, on the Steam page, this is the first thing. This is the first thing that people see. Okay, it's the first impression of the game. Usually on the Steam page. And what do you get from this? Chat, what do you get from this? I get kind of cutesy world, maybe? Question mark? Not sure what's going on. Relationship anarchy? Don't know what that has to do. The title is Relationship Anarchy. But the tag, right? The capsule is telling me nothing about the game. It's telling me about the vibe, maybe. It's telling me about it's maybe a sunny kind of world, but the colors are kind of, I mean, I don't know if this is just because I got flux on. The colors are kind of, they're just like local colors. It's why Sonic games are kind of bad. They want you to go fast, but the game doesn't support it that much. Yeah, like when you, that was my problem with first playing Sonic as well. When you when you go fast, but then you'd slap into something. And I guess you get good at that, right? You try and get good at that. That's the whole point in Sonic, but it was just frustrating for me, personally. Thanks, Erin. What's going on? So what do you do here? You investigate procedurally generated hidden relationships in a casual mystery game. Explore, find clues, deduce, infer, solve the puzzle, and unravel the true meaning. If it's a game about relationships, maybe there should be more than a single character. Maybe there should be like... Let's take a look at the Steam page, shall we? Relationship anarchy. Anarchy. Okay. Yeah, I think you need more characters. I think you need not just an overview of the world, because that doesn't give us anything. Like it's not giving us much. Whereas when you look at the game, it's the mystery game with relationships going on. And you've got a whole bunch going on. You got this little fox character talking to a bunch of people, like something which incorporates that into your team capsule art. You know what I mean? Super cool hook. It is a cool hook. Yeah. Investigate procedurally generated hidden relationships in a casual mystery game. I can see that. I can see that being really interesting. But you're not showing that in the capsule image, you know? Hidden relationships in a casual mystery game. Like try and get that across other than in the text. Try and get that across in the imagery, like what the experience that people are going to have. Like obviously you're talking to a bunch of people. Maybe you could put people in there. Maybe you could put the fox talking to people. Maybe you could put like heart or breaking or, you know, something that invokes the same feeling that the world does. I mean, look how beautiful this is. Well, when the game is better looking than your capsule image, you have to be worried because they won't see this first. They'll see this first. Like, look how nice this little world looks. Looks super cool. Yeah, it looks like you're, from the trailer, it looks like you're running around. Let me put my headphones on, actually. Yeah, you're running around talking to a bunch of people. Like, make that clear, you know? Does it have, like, games like it? Baba Is You? Unboxing the Cryptic Killer? I mean... I guess the thing here is the people, it's the faces. Faces are very emotional, like Darkside Detective. Again, you got some people there. Agent A, you got people in them. Notice how a lot of these have people in them. Cluedo, it kind of like Cluedo, right? Bunch of people in them. I think more people required. Now, I wouldn't look at games like Baba Is You, and I wouldn't look at games like Stardew Valley as I wouldn't look at this as a. I wouldn't look at Stardew Valley as an example of what to do. Although it's not a bad capsule image, it's got a little chicken on a thing and it says Stardew Valley and it's a nice peaceful looking thing. And the reason for that is because these games are massive. These games are so big, and they were basically big before they came out. You know what I mean? They were also super big. So you can't really take a rule. You can't really establish a rule from something which is already popular. It's the same with YouTube. Also, I would also recommend using Pixel for the font in the trailer. I guess it depends, you know, readability type thing. But it does look. I do agree, Frank, that it looks inconsistent. I do agree that it looks inconsistent in a procedurally generated. It looks. Yeah, it looks like an inconsistent style. Take a look at Katana's. Yeah, that's cool as. I mean, that just looks cool. You know, that already just looks cool. It's just a badass image. You know what I mean? And it's not necessarily far off. This is a really good example, actually, because look at this screenshot where you are slicing through. Right, you can see the main character here slicing through this guy, and you can see the blues and the purples of the color palette. This is essentially that on steroids, and that's basically what your capsule image should be like. It should be selling this, thing here, you know? Blues and purples, and notice how the blues and purples of the game, you don't have to use the same colors in your capsule image as you've got in the game. The reason for that is because you're trying to sell this thing. You want to hype it up to the max, super high contrast, you know. Sell the cool, exactly, T-Bo. Sell the cool. That's a really good way of putting it, yeah. Sell the cool. What's cool about it? The purple and blue color scheme, and you get to slice shit. Do the same thing here. That's what they've done here. Devolver games are usually very good at that because Devolver are pretty badass publishers. I mean, look at this game, right? Look at Hotline Miami. In terms of I like the way it looks, right? But in terms of Hotline Miami's style, you could easily have messed up this capsule image. Look how badass the capsule image looks. It really sells it. It adds to it, you know? It adds to it. And that's what you got to be. That's what you got to try and do with yours. Try and add to it. You're not adding anything with yours. It's a nice little font, but it's not adding anything to the game. So I would probably have, what would I do to fix that? I'd probably have the little characters or something. What's the unique selling point for relationship anarchy? How do you show them? Yeah. I think the unique selling point is that generated hidden relationships in a casual mystery game. And maybe you want to you don't have to use the same assets that you've got in here. I would actually recommend if you can't do it yourself, hire an artist to make a really clean looking version of it, of like the characters, you know, maybe like whispering behind each other's backs or something going on, like the mystery the fox is looking for, like maybe they're looking for something with like relationship anarchy or blah 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 going on with the nice world, blah 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 blah. You know, that's just one idea. But make it look really good. Like make it look really, really good, because that's how you sell the game initially. It's the same with YouTube thumbnails. If you've got a terrible thumbnail, nobody watches the video. And if you have a terrible or less people watch the video. Not nobody, but less people do. Will Congress burn it down in front of a... Yeah, exactly. Like make it emotional. Oversimplify what's fun about your game and transfer it into an image. That's exactly right, yeah. That's exactly right. You're trying to sell people on something. Okay, let's go. I've been playing with Lower the head and shrinking the chest area a bit, but mainly I could use help with the arms, nose, and mouth. Overall, thoughts would be great. This looks fine to me so far. The arms look a little short here. I don't understand what are they doing here. Is this a character they're like turning into pixel art or something? I'm not quite sure what's going on here. One thing I'd be careful of, I always talk about this, but check out these colors are so close, man. You need to ask yourself whether you really need that. Let's take a look at the differences, because most sprites are going to be looked at from about here, right? If I just get rid of this color altogether, what difference does it make? Box with a magnifying glass looking at a couple smooching. Exactly, yeah. Was there any difference there? Does that look like there's any difference? It doesn't look like it. That's why you got to be careful of like very, very close colors. You know, like these are so close that you're just not going to be able to tell. The second thing here, the arms are a little thin, I'd say. Maybe they could be like 1 pixel wider or something. Unless the character just has like super thin arms. And I'd probably bring them down a bit because proportionally arms go to like the middle of the legs. Hands do anyway. The bottom of the hands do. That might make the arms look a little bit more natural. Obviously, you'd have to fix the pixels up so it doesn't look completely junky, like I've just drawn it in here. But you get the idea. Other than that, I think it looks fine. Like I don't know what the big problem is, and I don't know what the goal is really. So I don't think I can add too much. But other than that, I think it looks cool. The design's very nice. I don't know if it's your design or what's going on. Oh, here we go. Hold on, there's more. There's more. Final version, I think. The reference was AI. Get in the bin. Go in the bin. How about you just go in the bin? Yeah, looks fine. Looks fine. Again, super close colors. Is that really necessary? Probably not. Does it make a difference? Oops, just made them naked. No, doesn't make a difference. Be careful with that. This image here, did you make that? Looks very cool. I like that. Yeah, I think it looks fine. Just the arms look a little off. The arms look a little thin again here. That's like part of the dress, but looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Next up, monochrome art. Here we go. Made this out of boredom. Would like to know what you think of it. I made 2 versions, one with more background and foreground detail and the other with much less of it. I think these are cool. Where can I submit mine? In the Discord, in the feedback section. Probably won't get to it today because we've got a bunch to get through and we haven't got long left, like 20 minutes left. Yeah, this is cool. I think they both just have different vibes, you know? I like the vibe of this one as if you're like, this one makes me feel more creepy, and I think the reason for that is because of the sharp shapes. I think for a couple of reasons. The sharp shapes in the foreground, but also how claustrophobic it is and how the subject is pushed. Is more claustrophobic, basically. The subject is squashed more towards the middle, you know? But we do it every Friday, Flibly. We do it every Friday. So if you submit it now, we'll get to it next Friday. And all of these videos stay live. They stay up on YouTube. So you can just check it out anytime. And I always message when I've talked about it. So if you post something Feedback Friday, I'll go through it. Boom, 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 boom. And I'll drop you a message when it's done, basically. So yeah, you don't have to be here for it, but you will see it. Yeah, these are really cool. I think I prefer, this one gives me a bit more, I think I prefer this one. Definitely. Therefore, add mine. Thank you. Hey, no worries at all. Limbo vibes, very limbo vibes. Yeah, I think it's really cool. I think it's nice. I got no feedback for it. Other than this is cool and this is my favorite one because it just makes it feels even more creepy because of how claustrophobic it is. Very nice. School project song. Oh my goodness, we got a song. I don't know if I can give feedback to a song because I mean music, but let's have a look. I have to finish this by next week. Too late. Wondering what you guys think about it. My brain is destroyed from listening to this for 4 hours. I'd be happy if someone else gave it a listen. What can I add? Is there anything I should remove? General opinions is I try to go with something jazzy since I watched Whiplash the other day. Great. Yeah, Whiplash is great. Thanks and advice. Okay, let's go. I don't hear anything. Jesus! Out of nowhere. It's jazzy. Oh yeah. Not bad. Needs like... Definitely needs that structure that you were talking about, like a little bit of a build up and stuff. And like levels. Level adjustments. The trumpet's kind of annoying. So maybe reduce that level. And obviously it's a repetitive loop, so something which changes it up a bit. But other than that, I think the jazzy vibe that you're going for definitely sounds jazzy to me. I don't know anything about jazz music, but it sounds jazzy to me. Sounds jazzy to me. Maybe some more structure, like you said. And some elements of... different elements for interest. Very cool. Not quite my tempo. Anyone who's seen Whiplash. Raccoon Castle. First pass on the final level for my first game in dev. Jimmy, Jimmy, and Jed. What the heck? First pass on the final level for my first game in dev. Jimmy, Jimmy, and Jed. I mean, I don't know what the goal is here, but it looks cool. It looks cool. Is this something you play on? Very creepy. I like the characters with the eyes here, making it look creepy. Like Time After Time by Cyndi Lauper. Yeah, exactly. Time after time. Sounds a little bit like that, actually. Yeah, I don't know what the goal is here. I don't know what the goal is with this piece, but it looks nice. I like the depth that you've got going on. It's definitely creepy with the little eyes. It's kind of Ghibli-esque with those little, you know, those little things that are in every Ghibli film? Kind of looks like that. So this is, okay, they said, this is simply the first view of the level before venturing inside. A kind of reveal scene. Also, it needs a ton of details. I just want to know what it made people feel or not. Makes me feel creeped out. That's what it makes me feel. Makes me feel a little creeped out because of the little eyes. But it's great. I love the depth. Very cool. What up, Waters? How are you doing today? My best game so far. Oh my goodness. Here we go. My best game so far. I'm starting dev, so please give feedback. Let's check it out, Dark Rosen. So, prototype still a work in progress, they said. Phone version is not fully functional. All assets and music may need reworking. Ideas for future updates. Random terrain. Let's have a go. Let's have a go. Prove my game jam. 31. Cat box. Let's go. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Cat box 2. The heck? Movement is arrow keys or WSD for computer. Press to move for phone. Walk into boxes to meow them. Whoa. I'm not ready. Don't think the game's ready either. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Am I like pissing on the floor? I don't understand what's happening. Meow. Meow. Love it. Meow. Let's go. Let's go. Get all of these things. Where are they? We're catting around like the speed of sound. Does look like I'm defecating everywhere when I run. But I kind of like that. I kind of like that. Zombie beavers, yeah. Where's the boxes, dude? There's got to be a box around here somewhere. I'll never find them. That's a car. We don't want to touch the car. Come on, dude. There's one. I'm scared, actually. What the heck's going on? I'm actually scared. Capis has me dead. Relax, relax. Yeah, it's funny. I think there's so many particles in the game that it's actually slowing down my computer now. It's actually slowing down. I think my computer's gonna die. The music is so creepy, dude. I don't know what's going on. I feel like this is like a Slender Man type thing. If something jumps out at the screen, I will actually uninstall. I'll actually punch the screen. Looks more like a mouse than a cat. I did think that as well. It's nice though. It's nice. Okay. There's too many particles, dude. Too many particles. Okay, I'm kind of stuck in this thing now. I only need 3 more. Why does it keep going dark? Is that like dark time? Can I go down here maybe? No, that's a dead end. The music is just like, it's just giving up on me. Can I go up there maybe? Oh, here we go. Here we go. New area unlocked. New area unlocked. The night cycle has me feeling all sorts of anxiety. This is the cherry on top. Yeah, I got the anxiety as well. There's one. There's one. 2 more. Uh-oh. No, I don't want to go there again. Oh, it's area based. The music is area based. Oh look, they've still got the widget. Can't really see it. Like a haunted video game you find inside a game. Fun soundtrack. I like how it changes per area. I think that's really cool. That's really cool. We've already been here. I can't find this other box, man. I feel like I'm learning the level. I'm learning the map. Learning the smokes. There's one. Oh my goodness. 1 more. I'm actually enjoying this. I'm not gonna lie. Hey, yo, I'm watching in the background while eating dinner. Thanks for playing my game. What up, Dog Rosen? This is hype. I'm not gonna lie. I'm actually enjoying this. I like games like this. Uh-oh. This music, though, Dog Rosen. What the heck? It's actually terrifying. There it is! There it is! Let's just appreciate it. Let's go! Hey, check that out, right? Look at that. This game, this is what I like about this game. You ready? This game knows exactly what it is. You're a cat mouse rolling around at the speed of sound. Looking for boxes. Was that your meow, by the way? Well done. Please tell me that was you recording the meow effect. Love it. You should have recorded all of the sound effects with your voice. Very cool. You run around. There's 9 boxes. Collect the boxes. This is how to game dev right here. Very clear objective. The player knows exactly what they're getting. And because I had a clear objective, I didn't want to quit until I got that 9. You know what I mean? I didn't want to quit. I didn't want to leave it. And even if you wanted to, you could try and get that even faster. You know? Sometimes games don't have to be super complicated. You know? Yeah, you don't collect them. You meow them. Games don't have to be super complicated. They just have to be clear. They have to be clear and they have to give an experience. And the experience that I got was anxiety because of the noises. We got some laughter. We got some laughter because it was fun. And we got some fun. That right there, Dark Rosen. Very nice. Very nice. I would play it. What was it called again? I would play Catbox 3. I'm not gonna lie. Basically the entire emotional spectrum. Yeah. I would play Catbox 3. I would play that. I know what I'm getting myself into. Catbox. I'm ready for Catbox 3. So I'd like you to make Catbox 3 and I'd like you to keep doing your thing. How could you forget such a name? I know, it's actually a very simple name, yeah. I love it. I love it. Keep going. Keep going. I'm going to follow you as well. I'm going to follow you on it so I can definitely play it. Follow Dog Rosen. There you go. Very cool. I enjoyed it. I'm going to leave a comment. I enjoyed this actually. Very cool. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for sharing. Okay, folks, we got about 8 minutes left. Let's go. Leave it on this one, I think, because this is going to be quite a difficult one. Hello, I tried drawing a character. No joke, this is biting me. Start work, back up my game and try to finish it. Do it. When people are like, oh, I don't know what kind of game to make, I don't know what to do, and then like make like a million projects that are too complicated, also calling myself out, because I do that. Finishing something like that, which has a clear goal, is simple, but you've done everything that you need to do. You've got a score, you've got movement, you've got music, you've got custom sounds, you know, you've got graphics, you've got a basic menu system. That's a difficult thing to do. That's a difficult thing to do, and you smashed it, so you should be proud of that. I tried drawing a character I like cosplaying as a fairy from a game I like. I'm pretty new to art and pixel art in general, so any feedback is appreciated. Nice. For being new to art and pixel art in general, this is very, very good. This is very, very good. You got some really solid, you're showing some really strong art skills already, if you're new, you know? Very strong art skills. One thing that's really difficult, by the way, is somebody holding a light source. Somebody holding a light source, because how do you light that, you know? Very, very difficult to do. I think you show really good skill already. So general tips. I mean, you've not done a bad job overall with anatomy. And this is just a general tip with anatomy anyway. Always do proportions, you know? We always talk about this, but proportions are key to everything. The reason I say that is just immediately this hand looks huge compared to this hand. I know this hand's like bent over, like curled over like that. So that might be why as well. But also a posed character is so difficult to draw like this, especially when there's foreshortening going on, because you've got one hand coming down here and you've got one hand sort of up here towards you holding the thing, right? And this is essentially closer to you. Because that's closer to you, it's going to appear a little bit bigger. So that's one thing to watch out for, but just general proportions will help the most, I'd say, to start with. Your lighting's not bad. Lighting is very, very difficult, like I said, especially when someone is holding the actual light source, because you got to think, like, how many light sources are there in this scene? Is this the only light source? Is it not? Difficult to know. What up, Quiet, by the way? I think you've done a decent job. Everything with light sources and lights is break it down. Like, you've got a complex character here, and that can be overwhelming. Complex characters can be really overwhelming, but it just comes down to the basics. Everything with lighting comes down to the basics. Basic shapes. How do you light a basic shape? That's what you need to master, you know? And it doesn't take that long. It doesn't take that long to master how to light basic shapes. Basic 2D things, 3D things, objects. Put a light source somewhere in the scene and practice that. Practice that for a couple of days. And that's going to give you the fundamentals that you need to basically shade anything, you know? Because the biggest thing with this is cross contour lines, right? Or contour lines, where you can imagine a shape going from, the only difference between a 2D shape and a 3D shape on a piece of paper or on a screen is those contour lines. And how do you show those contour lines? Well, you show that through a variety of different ways. Right, you can show that through lighting, shadow, form, whatever. You know, you can show that through texture. You know, you can show that through the way that the line weight sits. But the easiest way is just through lighting and understanding those cross contour lines. And you can apply that same. You can apply this same shape, very basic shape stuff, to everything in a character. Like, head is a sphere. Body is a freaking cylinder or a bean, right? Bean is an easy one. A lot of people do bean stuff like that, right? And then you can just apply the same with the arms, right? You do 2 cylinders, right? Cylinder, cylinder. And when you start to think like that, like I think when you start to think in basic shapes, it makes everything so much easier. Because this is your light source right here. Boom. Here's your light source. Let's take a look at the contour lines of this character. Well, let's just do the bean first, right? Bean, 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 bean. And obviously, they've got breasticles. So that you would take that into account as well. You've got more complex shapes going on, like in the dress. But just break it down into the basic ones to start with. Okay. You can add in some more. You could just add 2 spheres, literally. 2 spheres to this. There you go. Breasticles added. These things, just make them triangles. Triangle planes. Doesn't even have to be complicated. Don't even have to overcomplicate it. Doesn't even have to be a 3D shape. It can be a 2D shape in a 3D space if you know how to do that. And then you just apply the line to that. Literally just apply the line. So here's the source. Boom. Light's going to be there. Light's going to be there. Light's going to be here. The bottom of the face. Going to be mostly around here because boom. You got light here. There you go. And what happens then? Cast shadows. Darkness. Cast shadows. Darkness. 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 Everything else is darkness. Keep it super simple. Boom. Dark. Dark. Boom. Dark. Boom. Light. Light on the top ones. Dark underneath. There you go. You have light and dark. Just like that. Doesn't look very good because I used yellow and red, but you get the point, right? That's how you go about that. That's how you go about adding light to things. And you've done a decent job, actually. You've done a decent job. I would just say be careful of over lighting something. Like, notice how this arm here is, all of this is lit. I think if you to just do a little bit in light, that would sell a bit more of the form, you know? So a bit more of the form of the arm. Like, all of this being lit indicates that this area is lit, because this kind of looks like the same plane as what this dress is, but this part isn't lit, so it doesn't really make too much sense. Maybe I do something like this. If you're unsure, guess what you can do? Reference. Reference, reference, reference. And the final thing, obviously, with all characters, this is a big mistake everyone makes in every single Feedback Friday. It's much easier to you'll make much more appealing characters if you do this one simple trick. Much more appealing characters if you just fix this. And I mean fix it like it is a problem. Just there's not going to be light there. Not going to be light there because it's in shadow, but every bald head still is in light. That's a rule. That's a rule, is every bald head still has a highlight. There you go. There you go. Optimal. Get egged on. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out today. Thanks for sharing your artwork. Legendary. Thanks for sharing your artwork. Thanks for sharing your games. Appreciate you all. I'll be back next Friday. Cairo, chilling in the chat. I'll be back next Friday for some more feedback. Make sure you drop your feedback in to the Discord and we'll get it done. There's a long list, but we're actually cutting it down every week. We're cutting it down. The only reason it's so long this week is because I missed last week. But this next week coming up, going to be mad hype. Be mad hype. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Have a great rest of your night, whatever it is that you're doing, and I'll catch you all on the flip side. This is going to be up on YouTube if you want to watch it back or whatever. It's up to you. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for hanging out.